We said it was going to happen. It was just a matter of time, but eventually, as we went through this draft process, a national media jabroni haircut would downgrade Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence from the numero uno overall pick and or the quarterback one in this class. And as much as I love BYU's quarterback Zach Wilson, I think he'd look damn good in purple. Probably not going to happen, but it's been Trevor Lawrence for the last 3 years, the number one pick. No question, no muss, no fuss. And he's the surest thing since Andrew Luck, since Peyton Manning, since John Elway. Ironically, all of them technically were Colts. Cool. But the first national media jabroni to do it would be doing it for the attention, for chasing clout, for getting the clicks, all of that stuff. Well, congratulations, Chris Simms. You did it. You did it. It finally happened. His quarterback rankings came out, and Trevor Lawrence, number 2, behind Zach Wilson. And I respect Chris Simms, son of Boomer Esiason. He's not afraid to stand apart from the crowd, have an opinion that's different than the consensus, and stand by it. Former NFL quarterback, as well as a big-time college quarterback at Texas, really helped out the Oklahoma program during his time in Austin. But he does the work. He's been in the trenches. He's forgotten more football than 99.9% of us will ever know in our lifetimes combined. So this week he dropped his top 6 quarterbacks. Wilson at 1, Trevor Lawrence at 2, Mac Jones from Alabama at 3, woo, Kellen Mond from A&M at 4, wow. That's the one where I have issue with, as opposed to Lawrence at 2, but whatever. Then Fields and no pants or Trey Lance at 6. Now, Simms explained his rationale, quote, "What I'm evaluating is what I see on the field. Yeah, I hear rumors and all that stuff, but all I can do is evaluate what I see on the field and use my knowledge that way. And really, that's what my rankings are all about," end quote. So he's just watching the film. He's not getting into the kid's personal life. How is he with his teammates? Do his teammates go to his birthday party? Was he voted a team captain, or was there 8 team captains on the football team and he wasn't one of them? What he's like in practice with the coaches. Basically, ignoring all the intangibles and soft skills that help make a quarterback a true leader of men. So if a quarterback was like Snake Stabler back in the day, smoking 2 packs of Pall Malls and then not sleeping, then just reading the playbook by the jukebox light, and then just showing up on game day, I'm balling out. Okay. As opposed to the guy who's living in the film room, living in the weight room, hanging out with his teammates, buying his offensive linemen snowmobiles or whatever crap they get on Christmas. Yeah, okay, sure, I get it. Now, Zach Wilson, I do love him. He talks about the undeniable arm talent, which is undeniable. Compares his athleticism to Mahomes and Rodgers and Josh Allen, but he uses his athleticism to keep looking downfield and dropping darts all over the place. And the liveness of his arm and his ability to make plays off schedule. And frankly, I think his rankings are more of a reflection for the love for Wilson than any sort of animosity towards Trevor Lawrence. And then he goes into Trevor Lawrence. Inconsistency on mechanics. As a pure throw, he's not as good as Justin Herbert, and he likes the player, just not worthy of the number 1 overall pick. And we said that Lawrence's long delivery, while it's not Byron Leftwich adjacent, like it's certainly a little bit longer than you would want. He certainly can work to compact that thing. But we said that long delivery was going to get him dinged in the draft process, because you always have to find cons in everyone. And Trevor Lawrence is nearly as flawless as a prospect has, come out in the last 2 decades. But your evaluation would look janky if you didn't have any cons. So, long release. It still gets to the receiver accurate and with tons of velocity, but it's long. It's long, right? But the kid is a tank, can make all the throws, and is a smart, loquacious leader. Gets fired up, and love it. The kid's a winner, love it. But remember, Simms isn't taking into account any of the off-the-field intangibles here. It's just on the field, what the film says, blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. Like, if you're a GM, like say you're in Jacksonville, you're Urban Meyer, you're whatever, you got the number overall pick, you're not going to get fired, well, right away for taking the 3-year number 1 overall guy from Clemson. Like, Trevor Lawrence has been the number 1 overall pick for 3 seasons, right? So you're not going to get fired for drafting the 6'6", 250-pound, strong arm, loquacious leader from Clemson. You're not going to do that. But you will get fired if you take a flyer on this wafer-thin kid from BYU, sure with a big arm, but was a voted team captain, and put all of his stats up on Eastern Montana Tech. And if he doesn't work out, you're going to get fired pretty damn quick, man. Right? And that's just the way it is. And I do love Zach Wilson. I do believe in his upside, but his floor is a lot lower than Lawrence, and I think their ceilings are just as high. Lawrence is still clearly in a tier by himself. I think he should and could be the #1 overall pick, but the rest of the rankings where I have issue, man. So Mac Jones at 3. I do like Mac Jones. I don't love him. I think it's tough to separate Bama from Mac. What was him? What was the great offensive line? What was Devontae Smith winning the Heisman out there? He really was more of a distributor, more of a game manager, if you want to use that term. At number 4, Kellen Mond. So I like Kellen Mond. I wouldn't touch Kellen Mond before the 4th round, man. Was a 4-year starter, but never really popped for me. He never really progressed. I like him. He can be accurate, but too many times, especially this season in SEC play, well, that's all the play that there was in the SEC. But he was listless. He was inconsistent at times, but then other times he would drop dimes and bring Texas A&M back. So you do run a little bit hot and cold with Mond. So I wouldn't have him at 4. But number 5. So I've been a big critic of Fields. I think his accuracy under duress and his pocket awareness could cripple him at the pro level if he doesn't get perfect protection. But 5 is way too low. I think that he still is, with his upside, quarterback 3 or 4, depending on how you see Trey Lance. Big time arm, great intangibles. You are betting on that potential. I think 5 is disrespectful. It really is. And then lastly, 6. So Trey Lance was knocked for being a one-year wonder and playing a low-level competition, although he potentially has the strongest arm in the draft and he has the best mobility. What's not to like? I mean, for all the reasons that you like Zach Wilson, why don't you like Trey Lance? I don't really understand that. But, I mean, 2 things can be true at the same time. Number 1, Simms does the work, and I respect that he is willing to have a hot take, come to a different conclusion than is from the consensus from the draft community, and be like, yeah, I'm going to stand here. I'm going to take all the slings and arrows. We think different. That's okay. It is okay. Number 2, he can really be leaning into this for attention. Like, he's getting the clicks. He's getting people talking. I mean, hell, we're talking about it. So both of those things can be true at once. He can do the work and formulate his own opinion. And number 2, for the clout. He can certainly be doing that. But if you look at his record at evaluating quarterbacks the last couple of years, it's been pretty good. So 2017, he had Mahomes 1, Deshaun 2, sure. 18, Lamar Jackson 1, Josh Allen 2. It's pretty damn solid, although Lamar had a little bit of a regression this year, but 2019 MVP. I mean, you can't really knock that. And Josh Allen had himself a nice bust-out season 2020. Baker, still TBD, was looking up this year with Stefanski. Darnold, Rosen, 2019. Kyler 1, respect. Kyler still needs some work. Drew Lock, Haskins 3, But you look at the rest of the class, and no one else has really stepped up either. I mean, Finley's whatever. Stidham didn't even beat out the corpse of Cam Newton. Daniel Jones is whatever with the Giants and blah, 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 blah. And then 2020, you got Burrow 1, you got Herbert 2. I think that's pretty astute, even before Joe Burrow got hurt. Jordan Love at 3, above Tua, and Tua had his struggles, and Jordan Love didn't even get dressed. Well, I'm sure he had clothes on, but he wasn't active on game day for any of the Packers games this year, so that's going to be TBD for quite a long time. But, I mean, it could be astute. So he may have hit the nail on the head, although I don't find, thinking back, I don't think that any of these rankings were necessarily that controversial. Maybe 2018 when Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen were above Baker and Darnold and even Rosen. It was basically the inverse of how they were drafted. But I don't know. I do respect Chris Simms that he's able to formulate his own opinion and just stand by it. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Again, I think his rankings were a lot more about the love for Wilson as opposed to anything about Trevor Lawrence. Sure. I'm actually more upset about Lance and Fields below Kellen Mond. Nah. And even Mac Jones, too. No, so for me, it is Trey Lance 3, Justin Fields 4, Mac Jones 5. But nah. And also, no Kyle Trask at any of these rankings. Yeah, we'll take that. But Simms got his headlines, so it did what it was designed to do. So there you go. But your thoughts on our thoughts, Chris Simms quarterback rankings, let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work, post something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.